Welcome, everybody. It is the Voice of Onewheel. Thank you for joining us another Wednesday. Can you believe it's here already? So stoked to hang out with you. We got a big one today, so I want to get right to it. Got some new things happening. We'll talk to Nate. He was on a show of ours not too long ago, Nate Speweik from ForDged. He'll be with us in just a bit. But, of course, today is all about Javier Starks. He has ridden close to the mileage around the entire planet, and he is the #1 rider in the world. So he is here today. He will join us. So get your questions in if you are in the social media lounge, which is, of course, on our YouTube page. Right here at TTR Studios. God, it's good to be here. We're supported by StreetShred.com. I'll tell you about them a little bit later. But first, Lyle in the garage. What's up, man?
What up, what up?
Dude, are we ready for this? It's a big show today.
Yeah, it's a guy all over. But yeah, let's do this.
So how do I get to Javier? Do you control this? Is that what's up? How do I get to Javier Starks?
What do you want, Javier?
I want him right in our lives. Javier, what's up, dude? How we doing, bud?
How you doing?
You don't have to do anything.
Okay,
Yeah, well, you're just.
What's up? How y'all doing?
Well, Javier, I want to know: are you still on cloud 9 from the ride that took place in DC over the weekend?
It's like, no, let me stop. It was such a good time, man. Like, it's a good day when everyone comes out, and when they leave and they talk about it, some people are like, man, had the best time, had my biggest, hardest fall ever, but I had a blast. You know what I'm saying? It's like people were being pushed in a healthy way to go above and beyond. You know what I'm saying? Even myself, I risked my controller a few times. Normally I don't do that. I try to play it safe. This is me talking about playing it safe. Jumped off some crazy stuff.
I'm going to ask you about all of that.
I think at the Lincoln Memorial is like on torso high. So
we're going to do all of that. I'm going to ask you about that if I can. But I want to start with Lyle. You were there, bud, and that was a little bit different for you because we kind of hosted it, if you will. I mean, we just posted it in the DMV group. Hey, come out and do this group ride. And only like 14 or 15 people responded, Lyle. So I wasn't expecting a whole bunch, but it ended up being more like 38 to 40. You were hosting a little bit. Did you feel awkward?
It was totally awkward to be the center of attention. We're trying to celebrate Javier and do other things, but constantly all day long, his belly okay? His belly okay?
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, they did.
Guys, I'm here to announce to everybody, belly's okay. He's working, thankfully, so he's got a good gig that's taking care of him too. And so I will try my best to fulfill his seat in the social media lounge.
Yeah, do your best. I'm getting out of there as of right now. I see some of the people are already starting to chime in, so thank you to all of you who are watching us right there live. And if you're not and you're watching this back, like most of you are, we appreciate you too. Feel free to comment below if you want to join in on the conversation. We really appreciate that. It helps us out too, and it does give us a better pulse on what you think about what we're talking about. So, Javier, I'd like to know how you handle attention because I have to do it as a performer. I'm somebody that once I was about 12 and I was at the beach, I had one of those, you remember glow sticks, dude? You know what I'm talking about? Glow sticks that you wear them around your neck? Or do that.
Like the glow necklaces and stuff.
Yes, and he connected them, right?
Sure. Okay, I don't know how old you are, but I'm talking way back. I might have to go to Lyle on this one. But glow sticks for like Halloween.
What the fuck?
Sorry, Lyle. Do you remember glow sticks for Halloween?
Yeah, you crack them and then shake them and
throw them up in the air and all that shit. Okay, so I had them at the beach. For some reason, you could buy little tiny ones, like the size of like a big horse pill. And I used to put it in my mouth and walk around, like with my parents at the boardwalk at night. And fucking, my mouth would be like glowing green, and everybody would be looking at me.
Chewing on it?
I wasn't chewing. I just had it in there like a candle in a pumpkin.
Whoa.
and everybody was looking at me, and I'll never forget. That was the moment that I knew I really liked attention. Right? I enjoyed, wow, everybody's looking at me. I have everyone's attention. This is nice. I have no problem admitting that. That's a fact. So,
I mean, put me behind the scenes, and we'll make things run smoothly.
all right, so get out of here. Give me Javier back because I want to know.
Sounds good.
I want to know what
The social media lounge is also blowing up too. What's up, everybody? We got Don, we got Mickey, we got Nate checking in over there. John Capono Carter, that's cool.
What up, though?
James up in Boston said very, very cold. He was taking a shower. Thanks for that visual.
So am I answering the question, or you just?
Hold on, I just needed to get a touchdown in there for him. Yeah, so Javier, the question is, every single time I've seen you, you have a ability to draw attention to you, and you handle it so well. And I think it's a skill that really not a lot of people have. I'm not saying I'm great at it. I'm saying I deal with it and I strive for it, so I notice it. How do you just handle, like, you know, the little kids coming up and bringing you a massive thing of cake, and you just face, what was it, half a cake?
I'm honored. I think that I know that there are a bunch of people in various places around the world who live for that kind of attention. And to be honest, I don't live for that kind of attention. But as a performer, I'm accustomed to it. So my goal in all things that I do is to set an example of what it means to try to be a good human, because there's no such thing as a good human. We all are messed up to an extent, but you can try, you know? So I'm not so much concerned about what you see when you see me. I'm more concerned about what I can be for you to see, if that makes sense.
It does, but
so-
are you ever in a bad, like, do you ever feel like you're faking it? Because every time I've seen you,
No.
you're in a good mood. I need to know what bad mood Javier is like. Put me in those shoes.
I mean, bad mood, Javier. When was the last time I was in a bad mood? I was low key pissed when I lost my streak. But it wasn't like, I wasn't like, oh, my life is over, because it's never over, and that's why I just focus on the good things.
Right. So
That's my you know. But the streak thing was whack because I was too afraid to disconnect my app from my old phone when I got a new phone. So I was carrying my old phone and tethering that to my new phone.
That's right.
And connecting that to my Onewheel just to keep my streak going, because I was too afraid to disconnect it from my other phone, because I thought maybe I'd forget my password. You know, I'm always trying to think like 1,000 steps ahead. And then that day I forgot, I connected that phone to my Onewheel, but not to the internet. And I was 8th in the world on streaks and 1 for mileage, because I've only missed 1 day of riding my Onewheel since I got it in last May. And it was like the 7th day because it was drizzling. I was like, no way am I going to get it wet. And now it's like downpour, and I'm like, yo, I'm loving it. But yeah, so but I was sad about that and talked to FM. They tried, they couldn't really do anything about it. It's cool. But even when my Onewheel broke, like my first Onewheel died, I killed my battery, I burned the BMS out. And I was kind of like, well, it's dead. I'm not gonna sit here and mope about it, you know. I just focus on the good, you know. A day later, someone had let me borrow a battery, Johnny Witten, great dude, you know, the community. And that kind of like segues into why I like to do the giveaways and why I try to take what I've accumulated through sponsors and opportunities and share back, because my life is nothing but like filled with generosity. Like even my music, like the people that I'm working with, you could either say it's like stupid luck or just like good fortune. And I like to believe that my efforts of doing positive things for other people in the world around me have led to a few good people trying to do good things for me, which have led to really great things. Obviously, you know, that doesn't always pan out that way, but I try, you know. So the attention is kind of like, yo, with the kids, especially the kids, I want them to know that I think that they are as awesome as they think I am. I'm like, yo, you think I'm dope, but like, you're dope. But when you say I can't do something, let me show you that I can. Remember that one kid was like, "You can't ride up that.
Yeah.
You're too heavy."
Yeah.
I was like, "Boy, you know how long I've been riding up this ramp? Long before."
Yeah,
you
but see,
stepped
what
on
you
the
don't
one
know,
wheel.
Javier, is that you made me look really stupid in that moment because I had 30 seconds ago told the person I was standing next to, yeah, no, the kids can ride up that ramp, but a human being couldn't do it. And then here he goes, and I was like, I guess I'm wrong.
Gotta do it, man. Gotta try it. So
Some tasty toe cheese.
yeah, man. He said tasty
Foot and
chili.
mouth.
Yeah,
So I guess before I ask you about how I can improve my skills as a rider, I want to know one more thing about that. Because I know so many people are terrified of like public speaking and being in front of other human beings. So just to pull one more thread at that, what is maybe your number one tip if somebody is looking to improve their skills in like maybe just public speaking or just being in front of humans in general?
So I'll share a quick story. I'll try to keep it under a minute and 30 seconds. So I had a
I'm on the
conversation
clock.
with this
Don't-
gentleman.
Go ahead. I'm on the clock. No longer. 1 minute and 30, 90 seconds.
Okay.
Go.
So I was having a conversation with this gentleman who I was preparing to do work with, but I discovered some things about him that I did not enjoy. And I put people in two categories, cool and not cool. And he's not cool. But anyway, we had a conversation and we were talking about perception and how we see each other either in the mirror or through the eyes of our own. So when we look at a picture of ourselves and we're like, oh, that's a terrible picture, who's to say that we see exactly what other people see? So when we take a picture, I don't even look at it anymore. I'm like, yo, just post it, whatever, because I might think it's terrible and someone else might think it's great. But in the same light, when you're doing something and when you're moving through life, who's to say you're not inspiring people every single day with the simplest things that you're doing? You never know. So instead of worrying so much about what you could be not doing through your actions, just do what you believe and just let it be, I just be myself. That's like, people might think I'm goofy and silly. Yeah, that's actually me. I don't have many bad days because every day alive, every day above ground is a beautiful day to me, because I know I could not be here. My life before one-wheeling, my life before music was pretty wild. And I'm fortunate to be alive. So yeah, I'm just grateful every day. You know what I'm saying? Flux, be the flux movement, join the flux movement. What else?
All right, so how do I improve my stamina? That's what we'll do next. But first, let's give him a break. Lyle, where the fuck is Belly? I need him in my life.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm dying here.
I know this is a different role for you being on camera, but you handle it well, even though you don't like it nearly as much. What's going on in the social media lounge?
Social media lounge. I mean, just some props to Javier, Mickey, ICT, One Wheel Bros. Just said you're dope, man.
Shout out to Woa on Instagram, WOA_, new listener.
Oh yeah.
Cheers to you, bro.
You just found us on Instagram. That's cool.
or girl. I don't know. So yeah, I want to know a few things from Javier. I've got a list of things, but before I go back to him, man, I got to tell you, we're hitting a stride with Clyde, folks. He is really pushing for a full-time job.
Pooping everywhere?
No, dude, we're hitting a zone. Not only does he just go to the door and just sit when he needs to go out, he's only 5 months today. By the way, happy birthday, Clyde. Just throwing that out there. Happy birthday,
Happy
Clyde.
birthday, Clyde.
But in all honesty, the only reason I know it's very self-indulging to bring up my dog, but I'm just talking. I want you to know that the only way that I can endure one day with this dog, because he goes through attack mode. He goes through a mode where he's going to tear up something. It's either your hand, the couch, a toy, something.
Your nose.
My nose. Three different scars currently. So, I mean, this is the moneymaker, man. So the only way I can get through a day with this dog without bleeding is my one wheel. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. As soon as he gets into terror mode, it's terror time. I got to go. I hop on my one wheel. We go down to the garage, the parking garage, and we just rip it, dude. I go just maybe 1.5 miles, 2 miles, just loops. People know me down there. They go to their cars. They know Clyde's running. And we're just ripping it. And I'm training him. I say, yeah. And he fucking rips. And then when I want him to slow down, I just go, whoa, whoa. And without any, like he's got a pull leash. So I'm really training him with the commands. I can't wait to take him to a field, take the leash off and see if it actually sticks. But Lyle, by the time I get back upstairs, he's chilling on the couch, hanging out, letting me do his show right now. I mean, the Onewheel. Just a PSA for a Onewheel for every single dog owner out there. No brainer.
So here's a $1 million question then. Is Clyde trained or are you trained?
What do you mean am I trained?
I mean, you're starting to work your schedule to accommodate him, and so who's
I'm
more
trying
trained?
to come out of this alive, man. It's so hard. It's so hard training a puppy. Like, a kid, you could put a diaper on a kid. This thing I don't know. He's great in so many ways. Oh boy, I'm tired.
You gotta wipe the diaper and.
I don't know. I don't know any of that stuff. So we can move on. Let's do a new one.
So social media lounge Sear J is asking, is Belly okay? Again, Belly's people, we know you love him. He's fine. He's working. He couldn't make it this past weekend. He was really bummed about not making it Saturday, especially. But he is working and making adjustments for his work schedule to be part of the show with us.
Look, man, dude's got to make money, all right? We're all here in a pandemic. He's a waiter. No, I'm not a waiter. He's a bartender. So anytime he can get shifts, it's pretty hard to turn him down. And we don't hold that against him one bit. I know you guys don't either. So thank you for your support as he makes the money and is actually working that out. Just like Lyle said, he'll be with us soon. We've got a surprise guest coming up in about 15 minutes. He will be on the show with us. But let me get back to Javier, who can tell us how we can improve our stamina. If I want to ride... Listen, seriously, I have facts. Okay? I got them up, and now, of course, they're gone. To go around the planet, it's 24,907 miles. Okay? If you want to go from pole to pole, it's actually less. It's like 24,800 miles. Javier has ridden over 20,000 miles alone. So, dude is close to going completely around the planet just on a one.
If that was a car lease, you got to go renew your lease.
That's true. Go renew it. 20,000 miles. That is absolutely... I mean, I'm sorry, dude. We love you over here. You're out of your mind.
I am. I'd be like, yo, it's like 3 a.m. Let's go for a ride.
So how do
all
I...
by myself, and that's the crazy thing. Obviously, 90% of these miles have been ridden solo. I am still in love with my Onewheel as much as I was the first day that I rode it. I cannot express that enough. So when I see someone post about, yo, I hit my 100 miles, that's still special to me. So I jump in the Onewheel owners group and comment on those posts sometimes. And I hope they don't think that I'm being condescending when I'm like, yo, that's dope. You putting in the work. Because you are and I know a 10-mile ride still feels amazing. I'm like, yo, even a short 3-mile ride is cool. I mean, it feels like a tease, but it's like, yo, it's still amazing to me. And I know what it means to be in that position where you're still building those miles up. So when people are like, yeah, I got 1,000, it's nothing compared to yours. No, it is something. It's still dope. It's still special. I still think that that's dope because there are people who open their Onewheel ride at one time and never ride again, so you got to give yourself, yeah, man. It's, dude, yeah, I'm overzealous. I was explaining to someone before, they were talking about how, absence makes the heart grow fonder. And they were like, do you ever get cravings? And I was like, no, because when I indulge till I get my fill. So I get enough of it to the point where I'm like, yeah, I can, take a little time off. So when I actually do take a day off of Onewheeling and ride only 10 miles or something like that, I'm not missing it. It's because all right, cool. Let me handle some other things. And I'll go back to riding 40, 50 miles tomorrow,
That takes me to my next question, which is, and I want to get back to how do I improve my stamina. I want to get that for the listener. So we'll put a pin in that. But do you, I don't want to be negative, but do you hate group rides? Because I feel like we hardly ride on group rides. So I know you're like, guys, I gotta get the miles in somewhere here.
When I go on a group ride, it's a sacrifice. The sacrifice for good company. In exchange for accumulating miles, I get to spend time with good people, especially in a DC area. Like I can say that like we have no jerks in our DC group, which is like a miracle. Like we have a huge group of people and like no one's a dick, so like it's really awesome. So no, I wouldn't say that I hate group rides. It can be frustrating when thinking about the riders who are under the impression that we're about to like get it in and go on like a journey. I'm like, nah, bro, this is more of like a tour for people who may not be from this area. I really have a lot of fun on group rides. I don't like to lead them because then I can break off and still do my 20-mile-an-hour sprint down the gravel on the National Mall.
I wanted to ask you about leading
yeah,
if I can hop in.
I would not be able to be at 20K miles if I was doing group rides all the time. That goes without being said.
So I wanted to ask you about leading.
People just get tired. They're like, all right, man, we're like 30 miles in. Let's call it a day. Let's go get a beer. And I'm like, well, I don't drink. I don't smoke. Some days I don't eat. I just be riding and be like, all right, it's 8 p.m. Let me go get some breakfast. Sadly, this is not an exaggeration. I'm sure many people who are watching would be like, yeah, that's very true. But yeah, man, group rides are definitely a good friend of mine who goes by Cinematic Souls on YouTube. Really great channel. Y'all should follow it. Justin was talking about how group rides are like the hidden gem of one wheeling, and like when you become a one wheeler, you are essentially adopted into a new community of people, and it tends to be a really beautiful connection when you find someone who's like, oh, who's out there too, man, me too, man, I know who's out there going 22 miles. You know what I'm saying? It's like a different connection compared to like, oh, we both scored touchdowns, we both scored high on our SATs type stuff. Like, yo, we both crashed trying to climb a curb. Like I can relate to that. It's like it's akin to skateboarding again. And there's nothing like, yo, I came here to Lyle. I carried my spare motor and he's gonna drill out one of the bolts I broke off, and I got free bumpers. And yesterday someone gave me free rails, and people donate things to me all the time. And that's the whole community vibe that's so much bigger than the machine itself that Future Motion has created through giving us this thing. And I've been having some really good talks with Future Motion. Actually, we're working on some stuff together, and I just want to say on their behalf, based on the things that I've heard, like you would be surprised how much they genuinely do love the community and how much they are working to create things and try to do things to make things better for us. It's just tough. I'm speaking now as myself. I can imagine it's just tough as a company who creates something that is relatively sketchy. It's kind of the one wheel sketchy. It's dangerous.
What do you mean? Wait a
and then
minute.
you see people modifying something that is dangerous, and it's like,
sketchy.
yo, dude, like, because if you put a jetpack on your one wheel and you fly off the road, the news guy is not going to be like, modified jetpack electric skateboard blows up. They're going to be like, Future Motion's one wheel blew up.
Dude, what do you mean sketchy?
Get out of here.
I was going 21 miles an hour the first time I stepped on a one wheel. That's sketchy.
That's sketchy.
Yeah.
You're sketchy
Okay,
then,
that's
not the
like-
board.
That's what you mean by
down.
sketchy.
Yeah, you're sketchy,
Yeah,
not the
sketchy.
board.
Because people forget that the one wheel is a machine and it has its limitations. It's not a motorcycle. What's he saying?
I said you're sketchy, not the board.
You're right. Like riding a bike can be sketchy. Driving a car. How many people have died driving a car, and how many people have died one wheeling?
Right,
I think there's only one.
like
RP. But like plenty car accidents happen all the time. You have a better chance of crashing in a plane than you do crashing on a one wheel.
No.
Sadly, that's reality.
No, you don't. Wait a minute.
You don't think so?
Wait a minute.
Crashing.
Wait a minute.
I guess so. Oh yeah. Well. See, my definition of crash is when my body comes in contact with the ground.
Javier, I've fallen 1,000 times on my one wheel. I've never been in a plane crash, you a-hole.
You think so? I mean, what's your? All right. So, all right. Put it like this. Put it like this.
I'm terrified to fly, man.
Hold on. Wait. Put it like this. In comparison, for this analogy, How many times have you ridden your one wheel?
Oh God. Okay. I guess, but
I've ridden
100% of the time on an airplane, I've been okay.
I can only speak for myself. I'm like, yo, well, yeah, I've never crashed in a plane. You're right.
I love you, dude. That's ridiculous.
Yo. All right, I'm wrong.
All right, very good.
Sometimes your analogies don't work out. You get the idea. You know what I mean.
Well, I think you were going for the whole, you've got a bigger chance of getting in a car accident than you do a plane crash.
Enough.
Well, the social media lounge saying, I think maybe dying on a one wheel versus dying in a plane crash.
You're right.
Okay. I think that even though we're taking this to a very, very morbid place that I'd prefer not to go down, I think that's a little bit closer. That's a little bit closer.
Yeah.
So let's do something happy. In a few minutes, 3 minutes from now, I'm going to our guest today. But Javier, do you have like a giveaway? Are you doing something today on the show?
Yes.
What's that
We
about?
are going to be announcing the winner of the Craft and Ride Cyberpunk carbon fiber fender giveaway. This is a fender that when I saw it, I thought it was dope and just bought it impulse. I was like, yo, I'm going to give this away. And that was obviously months ago because I did the pre-sale thing. And it's finally arrived. And I hit 20K. Like, I had not planned this out. I just was going to give it away regardless. But it just so happened to work out in this way. But yeah, we're going to pick somebody. We're going to give them a spender.
So, Lyle, I don't know about you, but every time I come to some sort of like, what's the word for it? Goalpost on like my mileage on a car, I miss it. Every time. I miss it.
Well, I think you're probably some of our social media lounge people, they say they don't even look. And then one guy just like, I just hit 3,000 miles.
Hey.
So that's Mickey. Yeah. That's like the good old days. I keep talking about Javier when I get like a landmark. Oh, I got 2,500 miles. It's like the good old days for you, right?
But it's like I miss on a car every time I come to like 80,000. I'm at like 79,995. I miss 80,000. I miss it every time. I'm like 80,002, and I'm like, damn it. So I want to know, Javier, did you miss it?
I don't miss it.
No. Did you miss?
At this point, I can pretty much tell how. I mean, I'm not 1,000% accurate.
Did you miss the screenshot
of 20,000? Did you catch it? Did you watch it click to 20,000?
Yeah, I posted. Yeah, I mean, so when people see the screenshots of me going, when it's a screenshot, I'm literally just riding and looking at the phone while I'm riding. I'm like, oh, okay, and 20K screenshot.
Okay, so you didn't miss it. You were able to watch it click over to the 20K. Good for you.
That screenshot, you're doing like 22 miles an hour or something, right?
20.
I think it's, yeah.
Like, what the hell? That's sketchy. I said already. I said, kids, don't be like me in that way. But I have had so much practice. We were on a group ride and I ran through like a big old pothole when I was turned around talking to someone and just ride it out.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay, well, that's where the practice comes in.
Well, that's the biggest chance for getting hurt is on a group ride because you're doing stuff outside your comfort zone.
Indeed.
But we'll talk
Sorry.
about that.
We talk about that though. Every group ride, we're like, yo, everyone ride within your realm.
Right.
You know, I know you get inspired. You want to jump out there. You want to try it. Be gentle.
All right, so
that guy broke his collarbone at my last big group ride.
Oh, that's right, the shred gate.
I think every time someone rides with me, except for in some rare cases, Nate and I were getting it in. You know, when I went out to Chicago, the homies were getting it in. We were getting it in. You know, but often in the DMV area. So when people were like, "Yo, I'm coming to DC. I want to ride with you," I'm like, "Yo, we gotta do like a group ride, cause like, you know, I'm not trying to be like putting along at like 14 miles an hour for like 2 hours, you know, no offense, or riding my speed and then you get injured while you're in town because you don't know the lay of the land. So there has to be a happy medium. So group rides are the happy medium, especially for visitors, because I get to ride the way that I want. We can hang out in between and you don't get hurt. I hate people being like, yeah, I was riding while I broke my finger.
It's not his fault.
I was riding while I smashed my tailbone. Still doesn't feel right.
It's not his fault.
It happened. You know, so, yeah.
right, well,
Are we
you
talking
mentioned
about
him.
stamina? Do you want me to go into stamina real
Not
quick?
yet. We'll do that in just a second because you mentioned him. Javier, you mentioned Nate. Nate Speweik will join the show here in just a second. Give me a tease for it. Give me a tease, Lyle. Give me Nate right there with the baby. Nate will be here
Hey, oh,
in
look at her.
30
Oh,
seconds or
yeah.
so.
Okay.
Don't go anywhere. Nate Speweik joins the show after this. So today's a blast, and I just love doing this. I hope you're enjoying it too. This is the Voice of Onewheel. My name is Adam Carluccio, by the way. Everybody calls me Luch. You can call me whatever the hell you want, but if you're in the social media lounge, you're watching live, or you're watching in your own time on demand, however you like it, we like to give it to you your way, slathered all over your face, stoke every day. No Stoke sponges here. No, thank you. Not having it. And we're glad you're along for the ride. So if you do like this kind of stuff, there's a little bit of an announcement. I want to talk to Lyle. Actually, can't do that because at first I got to do Nate Speweik. Nate is here. He joins the show. And I want to know what's caught his eye. Nate, what on the internet has got you giggling this week with the baby? What's got Nate giggling? Maybe that's the name of it.
I would say quite a bit. Holy cow. She's excited to see herself on the screen, I think. I would say, yeah, just the amount of people that post awesome content. We have an awesome little segment here, a little top 3 action for everybody. Okay, stop dropping stuff. And these are just 3 clips that over the past couple weeks, actually, people have been putting stuff online, and sometimes I'll grab them, do a little short countdown with them, counting down the top ones, and these are the ones that really stick out to me. So we can give it a play. So here we go. We're gonna go back to the top. Let's start.
Oh, from the
restart it.
top?
Well,
I got you,
here's
I got
number
you.
1 for
Here
you.
you go. Here you go. My bad,
This is
homie.
ForDged top 3 of the week. You can do the audio too, actually. It is YouTube friendly. So, Vince Vaughn was the number 3 that I picked for. He's absolutely shredding at this skate park. That's the one thing I feel like I love about what Vince Vaughn does. Is there's a couple angles right here where he's got his 360 camera out and he's jumping over it. And for those of you who know how expensive these 360 cameras are, not only expensive but also extremely fragile. That's a gutsy move. Just like sending it and not even thinking about it. I mean, I guess he trusts himself enough to not hit his camera, which is good. But I even have a case on my 360 camera, and I've taken a couple good knocks with that. And I'm always like, oh no, like, hopefully I didn't just screw it up. But yes, Vince Vaughn absolutely shredding for the number 3 spot. He's just an amazing guy. I love how much he supports not only TTR, but the Onewheel community in general. This guy puts on the miles as well. I want to say he's on the leaderboard up there with Javier too. So Javier, you got to be careful because he's definitely chomping at your tail. Slowly but surely, but he's there.
I see you, Vince.
Here's what's a little bit crazy, right? He's number 2 in the world in a place where it's illegal to ride these things.
Keep it going. What else you got? Number 2, Nate.
Yep, number 2, Diesel Cecil, absolutely
Oh.
showing it off. I feel like this amount of steez in this clip is just glorious. Like, it's just so clean. Chase Passy, number 4, for the number 1 spot. 10 stairs, people. If you can't count them, that's how many there are. 10 stairs. This dude absolutely sending it down. I would always, and I always do recommend following him because the guy just freaking goes nuts. He goes nuts almost too much. And that was the ForDged top 3 of the week from Nate Dogg ForDged.
Forged with a D.
ForDged with a D.
With
That
a D.
extra
ForDged
D,
with a D.
people. Don't forget it.
Oh, thank you, Nate. Very nicely done. Let's see if I can do this somehow here. All right, we'll be back in 2 seconds when I figure out how to get everybody back on the screen.
Quick pee break.
All right, we're good. So back to it. Thank you, Nate. That was awesome as always. Make sure you follow him and go over to his channel. He is ForDged. Oh, I had you muted. I had you muted. Do it again.
Forged with a D.
With a D. It's all about the D.
You can also just see, Onewheel Rex, which that's seems to be our most popular video. People just like seeing people wreck, I guess. So.
Onewheel Rex. Check them out over at ForDged with a D. ForDged. Good dude. Appreciate you, Nate. We'll see you next week, hopefully. Okay.
Brother.
Next week. See you guys.
Much love to you and the fan, bro.
You as well.
Yeah, it was almost hard to get the show going because Javier and Nate were just broing it out the whole time, and I love that. It's
He's a good dude.
he's
man.
a good dude. I know.
He's a great dude.
Go support his channel, everybody. Go subscribe.
Stop it.
Get out of here. No, we're
Forged with
talking
a
about
D.
you.
Forged with a D.
All right. So what else we got? Nate is coming back next week. We'll have Javier is going to tell us how do we improve our stamina in, I don't know, like a 2-minute elevator ride up to the top of the Washington Monument. That's how long we've got. How do you tell me to improve my stamina?
All right. So stance is everything. Working on a video actually talking about stance. Foot positioning is critical when we talk about the idea of, have you ever stood in one place, one way for more than an hour? No. Have you ever walked without moving your feet? No. So the idea of when riding, I remember Federico would always tell me the ABCs of one-wheeling, always be carving. And that's great in the beginning, just be careful because constantly carving for the sake of carving can get you wrecked because you could be just carving for no reason to hit like a pothole. Like carving in the mid of hitting a pothole is disastrous, to be honest. So if you see my videos or you ride with me, you'll notice I tend to ride straight a lot, unless it's an area I'm super comfortable with, because straight is very recoverable from accident. But there are stretches that I do while riding because after like 14, 15 miles, I'll start feeling it like hard if I'm riding aggressively. So like your foot placement, that's why I do prefer like a really wide stance, the wider possible. You might also want to consider stretching before riding as well. I mean, because like I said, this is tendons, this is toe, heel action, standing in one place while pressing, and the whole accelerating and decelerating thing is something that could be really tough on the front foot. But at the end of the day, like being relaxed will take you a very long way. In the beginning, riding your one wheel is going to be extremely painful because you're going to be your toes will be clawing at the board, trying to keep it in place. And the more you ride, you kind of like, your feet are just on there, But in the beginning, you're like, I remember one person was like, yeah, I hang my toe over the edge so I can like turn sharper. I was like, dude, this sounds so painful after a while, like riding, like trying to balance yourself while standing on the board. Just stand on it,
But I think snowboarders can probably attest to that. Skiers, when you're learning, you're working so hard because you're not good at it yet. And once you're good at it, you're at the end of the day, you haven't had to fall over a whole bunch. You hadn't had to claw at your feet all the time trying to get your balance. It's so much easier when you know what you're doing. So yeah, for new riders, it's really hard to ride a long way, and I don't want you guys to get discouraged. Look, Javier got there. You can get there. He's got you.
Relax. The more time you spend on your board, like when I first got my board, I would literally just take it up to the National Mall and just practice sharp turns at high speeds. I was like, yo, I'm gonna turn heel side going like 10. And like, yo, that stuff is what builds up the stamina. Like when you see a really funky angled curve, y'all saw it last time we were leaving Haynes Point. I was just like riding slowly off of this thing. It's like so sketchy, but that's what like builds the muscles. It builds the reaction speed. It builds the instinctual like body movements so that you just react to these things. Like I don't have to think about a lot of this stuff. I just ride.
Hey Javier, from the social media lounge, people are asking, do you do stretches? And then if so, what kind? Anything that you can help.
So I don't stretch outside of one-wheeling. So when I'm not one-wheeling, I'm not going to tell you I'm sitting at home doing yoga. I'm sure that does help. But like imagine if this is your foot, and like to press just your toes down, like, and then to push up on your just your toes while having the weight of your body weight on your toes, push it down while lifting your heel as far up as possible, and you'll feel the stretch along the bottom of the foot. God, that helps so much. It's
Ooh.
equivalent to like getting your hair shampooed by some random person and they're digging their fingers all in there.
Oh, that's so lovely.
I mean, dude, oh my God. Yeah, so that stretch helps a lot. And I mean,
Javier,
I naturally walk on my toes. So like I am maybe kind of biased when it comes to these things because I can just bounce around on my feet without really getting tired. But that stretch makes all the difference. And change your stance. Sometimes when I'm riding like really far for a long time, I will, like, if my feet are like this and this is my back foot and this is my front foot, sometimes when it starts to hurt a lot, because it does, because I'm not riding slowly the whole entire time. If you ride slowly and adjust your speed, that's another thing that can help. Going, I don't know, 5 to 10 miles an hour for the average person will ease the stress on the front foot. That's going 14-ish for me is like slowing down. But I would turn my front foot, like what feels like straightforward, but it's funny because it's just an angle like this, and it takes so much stress off of the front foot. Or if your feet are facing, imagine I'm on a one wheel going this direction and my feet are this way, I will bring the weight of my body weight onto the insides of my feet like this. And that's another stretch that I do that helps so much. Oh my God, I don't know. I'm like getting relaxed thinking about it because I know how much of a difference it makes. But at the end of the day, really what boils down to building stamina is just like anything else. You got to do it. Like go out there and ride. Even if you only got like 5 to 10 minutes a day, go for a ride. Like you need to acclimate your body to this situation and this environment that you're putting it in. So that
Javier,
from the social media
hold
lounge,
on,
they're asking if you could use another metaphor because they miss having hair.
If I had to make another metaphor, imagine just like a massage.
Can I give you one?
Huh?
Can I give you one? A lion doesn't have to stretch before it goes and chases down a zebra. All right, it's in your blood. Just go get it.
I didn't say that cocky metaphor. Luke said that.
And he's got a lot of hair.
I didn't say that either. That's Jalen Ramsey, DB for the Rams.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah. Well, that wasn't me. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, but no, I mean, he's right. There's a lot. I actually have a tip, if I can throw this out here, and I'm curious what Javier thinks about this, because I'm not an amazing rider, but I'm okay. So I will do crazy eights if my hands are like the wheel, and that's the wheel is the center. I'll do crazy eights with my hips. So I'll try to like throw my hips in front of the wheel and then around it and then back behind the wheel. And I'll really just throw my hips around the center of gravity, because that forces you to then change the weight of where it's pressured on your feet. Mm-hmm. So by focusing on moving my hips around a center point, it really helps me relieve a lot. Because you're right. It's just sitting there like stagnant where you're just staying there. That's what's really going to hurt the most.
Now you do that while you're at speed? Or do
12 miles an hour, 14 miles an hour. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Just while I'm riding. And when you do it, you'll realize you have to keep the same speed. You have to change where your weight is.
Yeah.
And so that's just kind of how I do it. But I would listen to that guy before you listen to me.
No. All bodies are different. All bodies are different.
Well, good. Then let me ask you a question, because Lyle came on the air and blew everybody's mind saying he had rice for Thanksgiving. I don't know what that's all about. But let's just say I put a big bowl of rice in front of you. Would you use a spork, a spoon, or a fork?
Chopsticks.
Did he freeze?
Whoa.
Did I freeze him with that question?
Why did I have to think so hard about that? If you put a bowl of rice, well, I mean, I'm a savage when it comes to eating. I use anything, but I guess if I had to choose, maybe a spoon. That sounds like I could be a little more greedy with the spoon.
Lyle?
Fork or chopsticks?
I knew it. I knew you would have a problem with the spoon. What are you talking about? Why can't I use a spoon?
A spoon is for soup and cereal.
Well, what kind of rice are you talking
and
about?
mom's porridge.
Steamed rice?
It doesn't even matter, Javier. Give me a spoon. It's a better tool to get things to my mouth.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you a shovel.
Give me a shovel. Put it in the social media lounge and let me know if there's any forks out there. Like Lyle, you crazy people. I don't know what
Social
that's
media
about.
lounge says spoon, hands, or chopsticks.
Yeah, chopsticks for rice. That's insane.
John Carter from Hawaii chiming in. Fork. Period. No more words. Nothing. Just fork.
Come on, John.
Jan is saying spoon on my own. With others, a fork.
Is anybody just hands, just straight to the bowl, just face? I love rice, man. I do.
I mean, it depends, but that's why I'm saying it all depends on the rice. Like if you eat steamed rice,
I don't know how Cody is saying proper Japanese etiquette is a spoon, man. No, I'm sorry.
How about this?
Not with rice.
How about this? How about this?
I enjoy chopsticks.
Did you guys know this? I went on a date in LA.
Uh-huh.
And I was very, very much out of my league. I didn't know where I was, what. This was not normal for me. And I was getting like pho. Is that a thing? That's a thing, right? So out of my league. And the girl's like, let's go here. I'm like, yeah. We just went on a date to Disney World. Anyway, moving on.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah, but dude, I was tired. I wanted to go home. That's a long day standing in line.
Oh my God. Date hasn't even begun. He's like, and done.
I'm on this thing for 6 hours, man.
Yo.
It's like after I get to a whole new world, like I'm ready to go.
A whole new world in my bed. I'm going to sleep.
So we're at this like pho place afterwards, and I'm just like, okay, and I'm just trying to eat it. I put my chopsticks, I believe, like into the rice, and she said that is a bad move, and that signals something. Do you know what that's about?
Death.
What is that?
That's like it was more so meant like either two things that I've heard.
Get on screen here. Get on
is
screen.
Either you're wanting a death wish, or if somebody had done that to you, that the Yakuza was coming and thank you for coming. You're dead.
Oh wow. Oh, but that's like someone else walking up and being like, eh.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Like,
You don't put your chopsticks in your own rice and be like, I'm on death.
that's
Yeah.
Some people rest it that way. People like Adam, and
Okay.
it's like inviting death to your door. Is
No.
what they say.
I just wanted everybody to know that I was on my deathbed and treat me right. Just be nice. Give me good service.
Treat me right. Treat me nice.
Treat me
Give
right.
a spoon.
Damn.
Give me my spoon. All right, I'll ask you another crazy one at the end, but how do I land a big drop confidently?
Is this a question right now I'm answering?
Right now to you.
Speed. You'd
Really?
be surprised. Everyone who was there, I bet they thought that I was gonna like creep off the edge. Nah. You need that momentum. It's just like dropping off a curb. When you go off a curb really slowly, the impact feels so much more like it feels more like crude, if it's a good word to explain it.
Yeah.
But if you see the video that I posted of that Lincoln Memorial drop, dude, I cleared very far. I didn't land like right at the edge of it. So like having a nice runway is critical. Unlike those steps when I was with Nate Forge, that was sketchy. But that push, and then, dude, like, just you gotta commit, like, especially like I was saying in the post, like, because I don't want to land on my tail. I'm a skateboarder. I come from skateboarding, so like, if I land something and my tail scrapes, it don't count to me. If I land something and my nose scrapes, it don't count to me. If I land something and it's like super wobbly, it don't count to me. That's just my standards. So if I land something, it needs to be clean, which means that I'm keeping everything balanced. That's the goal, at least. You know, you do 1,000 curb drops, you know, and then you can do 2 steps without trying. You can do 3 steps without trying. You do 1,000 step drops. I mean, I'm jumping off. Like, I jump off stuff all day long. Like, I'm surprised that I think that if I wasn't such a perfectionist when it comes to my riding style, I would have broke my one wheel a long time ago, just smacking it on things. But I'm like, every curb drop needs to be precise. Like, I want the ride to be clean to sustain the life of my board. So big drops, like one is like starting low. I'm not like, if you watch the video, I'm not standing all the way up. I'm also not like super crouching.
Well, do we
but
have
like,
it? Lyle, do we have
Huh?
the video?
Huh?
Lyle, do we have the video?
I don't have it with me, no.
Where can we find that, Javier? I'll pull it up. Where is it on the internet?
You could go to my Instagram, which should be One Wheel Wing, or is that my, actually, I posted on my main account. Go to, Instagram.com/Javier Starks.
Hey, Javier. So while Adam is looking for that,
Yeah.
Chris had chimed in really quickly and just said, just giving some pointers. And it's everything that I've seen you do too. Is it go faster than you think, lean back farther than you think, prepare for the nose to drop. So push back and ride through it.
Wait, what?
Chris Richardson doing a drop. He's like, go faster than you think.
Uh-huh.
It's the things that I've seen you do. So
Uh-huh.
it's cool. Just he's writing it here in the social media lounge.
Okay.
Go faster than you think, lean back farther than you think, like in anticipation.
Uh-huh. I don't lean back.
You crouch. I see you crouch.
I don't
Yeah.
lean back at all.
Well, let's
When
take a
you
look at
watch
it.
Chris's videos. He does pull back.
Everyone's, but like I said, everyone's body is
Yeah.
different. Everyone's got their own style. Whatever
Exactly.
makes you more comfortable. I just know I land square on the wheel every time. So
Well, here, I got you. Let's take a
yeah,
look at
because I don't want to
this.
break. I don't want to smack my battery on the ground. I try to keep everything balanced.
Javier, take us through it. Here you go.
All right, so I rode a few times around at the top before in the celebration dance. But I had ridden around on the step area first for a while. But when in the beginning of it, you'll see that, like, literally I just rode, you'll see the nose begin to dip. But when I go off the edge of it, it's not down, it's not back.
It's very level.
Go down, you're going to see the wheel compressed. Everything is still balanced. I'm not leaning back. I don't brake. I'm not going to slow down at all. Like the speed that I left the ledge with, I ended with. So to me, I treated that like a curb. But it's just staying confident and believing in yourself and remembering that, at the bare minimum, I need to land on the wheel. Like when I see people land and they're like smacking the nose and smacking the tail, I cringe inside.
Well, you know,
I'm like, that's how you break it. That's
Right.
how you break the board. Like it landing like this, worst case, I'll snap my hub bolts. I'll bend my rails, but I'm not gonna break my controller per se.
Yeah, but look
Ideally,
Javier, look how compressed you are. Where if you look at his helmet is so far down, like when he lands, he's really compressed. He's not at all rigid. Take a look at this. His helmet is like 2 feet from the ground, right? He's not standing up. This is the whole thing. You got to stay athletic.
That drop felt so good, man. Absorbing the shock with your knees is key. And remembering that, like, according to science, yes, everything does fall at the same pace, but because of the fact that the one wheel goes off the ledge first, you have to compensate for that. So if two things are riding like this and you hit a ledge, the one wheel's gonna fall below and then you fall. So I squat and then I go up a little bit right before the drop so that I'm dropping with the one wheel. And that's like something that you should practice on your drops as well, because hitting the ground at the same time, if you watch that video or another angle that was posted by Bruce, it should be on my one wheel page. Like my feet are on the board the entire time.
Yeah.
And that's my first time jumping off anything that high because I'm too afraid to break my board. There's a lot of tricks that I want to work on and learn, but I can't afford to break my board. So I'm working on building my second board. But yeah, man, keeping the feet on the board, man, keeping them joints flat. And so I have a different kind of respect for people who use flight fins. It's a drops with flight fins is a different world.
You got to do it differently. It's a different
because
jump.
the board is there. Like
Yeah.
you don't have to keep it with you. But you got another kind of balls that you have to pull that board up before you go off the edge,
It's a different type of riding. So, no, we appreciate you helping us out going through that one. That was something that he did on the group ride. That was super fun. All right, real quick, Lyle, we have to talk about what's going on over at the Patreon page because it's not just self-serving. I want to let you guys know there's some big stuff happening over there. You can definitely look. We want to get more. regular with it. All right, I took some Metamucil, and now we will be way more regular with our broadcasting
You to chat if possible
on the Patreon page.
Sorry.
So what that means is on the patrons only podcast, which is something we do at patreon.com/TTR Studios LLC. We've just been doing it randomly. Like, well, it's like the show kind of behind the scenes of this show, and we talk about sort of what happened on the show, but also it's really like our creative outlet where we get to do some of the things that we're not able to do on here. We take a little bit more chances. We have a little bit, not necessarily more fun with it, but we definitely take a lot more creative liberties. So if you're into some of the hijinks that we do over here, you know, Billy the Cowboy and just the fun that we like to have as the part of the show, a lot of people come to it just for the knowledge and you just want to learn something and get out of here, and I understand that. But if you are into really kind of more the fun side, I really think you're going to like the Patrons Only podcast, and it's over at our page. It will drop now twice a week, once on Monday and once on Thursday. All right, so I will put them out every Monday and Thursday now. You'll have 2 a week, and it is a paid tier kind of thing over there, but it's only $5 a month. It's literally $5 a month to get on the lowest tier where you can still get the podcast. And then you can really be a part of everything. It's a little bit of behind the scenes, like I said, but it's also kind of like we'll talk about some stuff that we won't talk about on here. Like we're not really sure if we want to really go public with some things and kind of tell some secrets. We do it over there. So if you're a behind the scenes kind of person, I really do think you're going to like it. We've got some guests that are going to start joining us on there. We've got some new characters that are excited to come. Sergeant Stokesponge is excited to make his debut, Lyle. I don't know if you know about this, but he's mad at you.
Nope, I did not know about him, but bring it on.
He's got a bone to pick, and it is not pretty. He was asking me if he could be the first character to join the show on the Patrons Only page. And listen, man, he's coming for your job.
I think it would be appropriate with how adamant I am. I don't like Stoke sponges at all.
He is coming for your job for calling him out on the Suron video. He wants you fired, man. Because
Stoke sponges not needed.
Can you
not
tell the
needed in
people?
world.
Can you tell the people how that came about in just 30 seconds? Just what I mean in the Suron video, how that came about.
Yeah, somebody was just like, I think they were complaining to you about like you can't be here, and you're like, yes, I can. Read the rules, blah blah blah, and then you're riding away, and I'm just like, what a Stoke sponge.
It caught
He
me.
was just trying to steal your Stoke, man. Like soak it all up and I guess use it for his own evil. I don't know.
It was so funny. It actually caught me, and I was just like laughing in this middle of the YouTube video, and people actually started really like enjoying it, and calling it out on comments. And I had it here. I'm looking for it. I hope I can find it.
We changed the word from hate to Stoke sponge.
Oh, dude, it was so good. I know I shouldn't do this on air. This isn't great for everybody. Okay, well, we'll get out of here. I was going to play it. Oh, I do have it.
The first time I used Stoke sponge was actually Javier and I were chatting, and we're talking about somebody, and we're like, oh, man, that kind of attitude is just a Stoke sponge. And we both were just like dying laughing, and it kind of just stuck. Like, yeah,
you go.
you know, haters, Stoke sponges.
Here you go.
Kinda
Let me
soak
share
up
your
all
screen.
Stoke.
I got you here. So that's going to be this. And this, and this, and everybody can see it. Here we go.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, that's
Who wouldn't be?
that's crushing your Stoke, dude. And so I was really upset. So what I did...
A Stoke sponge is what we call it.
It's a Stoke sponge, just soaking it all up. So what I did is I kept riding. Just totally got me out of my game. But then everybody kind of picked up on the comments and just went with it. So Stoke Sponge is now a thing. Sergeant Stoke Sponge is excited to come on the show, and he's mad because you called him out. You took him out of the shadows, and now you will have to come to terms with it, Lyle. So just be ready for it.
I'm ready.
Okay, that'll be on the Patrons Only podcast, patreon.com/TTR Studios LLC. So, Javier, I want to know how I can perform better in front of a crowd, because the worst thing that can happen when you're trying to do something is somebody else is watching you, right? Because then that's immediately you're going to fall down. That's just the law of doing things with people watching you. So you seem to pull things off with a crowd in front of you all the time. What would your best tip be for trying to do something out of your comfort zone in front of a crowd?
I guess I would say that it starts with, like I said earlier, just being comfortable with being yourself. I when I'm hanging out with people, I'm still hanging out with me, if that makes sense.
What
So
do you mean?
when I'm doing the drops, y'all weren't a factor.
Mm.
I'm just like, yo, I'm gonna jump off this ledge. Like kids do. They're like, yo, when you're like, don't do that, they're like, I'm doing this. I don't care what you say. Y'all could be watching or not watching. Just focus on the moment and remind yourself that, bro, like Bruce Utu says, we're all between falls, yo. Like, you be surprised that even when you crash, there are people like, dang, he had the guts to try that. She had the guts to try that. Like, and they're inspired by it. You know, you take your loss and your L's, turn them into W's. Even crashes are victories. Fortunately, I don't crash often, but that's because I did a whole lot of crashing before.
You
were
crash
hanging out
less
with
than
me.
you do on a plane.
I'm never gonna live that down. Well played.
Hey
We gotta
Javier,
go.
somebody's asking, well, not asking, they're saying a little bummed that I can't practice slides anymore with metal plates, and I'm here to just open a door for you to
Okay. Yeah.
drop some knowledge, please, brother.
Maybe I will
30
post
seconds.
it.
30 seconds. Go.
I will post. Oh, and then the show is
Got the
over.
giveaway.
No, because we got to. All right, let's do this. Guys, we're going long today. I hope that's okay with everybody.
I
Answer.
still got to announce the winner in like 5 minutes.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So let's do that. What time do you want to announce the winner? 105?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
All right,
y'all.
105
I'm
will
running
announce the winner.
Random
So-
generator now.
Okay, don't go anywhere. And while we're doing that, can you answer a question, or do you need a second to pull all your stuff
Nope.
together?
I can. The app is running to pick the name.
All right, good
So,
stuff.
Slides with steel plates, definitely still possible. Ha! No pun intended. Still possible. Anyways, the longest nose slide I've ever done was at Freedom Plaza.
Almost 10 feet, right?
Yeah, bruh. Like, and I've gone back and it's getting better and better. I mean, I flew off the edge one time when I slid the whole thing and then some. So really, it's about the angle. But more than anything, it boils down to the surface that you're trying to slide on. I mean, like you're sliding, if you're using steel plates and you're trying to slide on something that's like raw, dry concrete, probably not going to slide. Keep in mind that when you see Will Fun Stuff, Bodie, all those cats, Floaty McFly, they're either using something like the blocks. What's the company that makes the blocks?
Black blocks.
Yeah, Black Blocks, or they're using wax. You know, so like it's not just like you show up at a random curb and go the right speed and smack it and just go sliding off into the distance. You either need wax or you need to work on finding a different location. Like I just found a really good location, marble and steel. Like, dude, it's just a match made in heaven. if it's waxed, you know, the wax is the lubricant. But really, yeah, pick a different surface. Go to a skate park, dude. Oh my God, when I was at Chicago, quick story. I found this ledge that like starts low and goes up, and it has steel coping, steel on steel. Those armadillo float plates. Oh my God. And I mean, I've had maybe 3 sets of float plates since my first black set of plastic float plates. And they've lasted me all this time. And the only thing that I even wear down on those armadillo steel float plates, not to shamelessly plug, but is the back. And that's from like randomly just stopping a whole lot. When I turn or break or something, I burn a hole in the back. But like all the nudges that I do, I learn switch nudges and all kinds of variations of nudges, and like never bore through the front float plate. But yeah, man. So it's not about working your technique and then find a good surface. You know, try different surfaces.
Fresh in from the social media lounge. Oh no, a longer than normal voice of Onewheel. I'm so disappointed. Said no one ever.
I was getting ready to tell you in your ear, hey, get the touchdown ready. There's some good comments in the social media lounge. And then here you are in the chat, get the touchdown ready. Another one, Christy Miller. This is the way. Good. Thank you for joining. We'll see you over on the Patreon page. This is the way. I just started watching that, by the way. That show. Let's do the giveaway. But that show it's like This Is Us. It just plays at your strings, man. Pulling at your heartstrings. This is the way.
So, hey, excuse me. Hey, Sergey, just to let you know, you don't wax your plates. You want to wax the surface
Correct.
that you want to slide on. And yeah, so no, you don't want to be waxing your steel plates to slide.
Sorry, I should specify.
No, it's all good.
All right, we got things to do. Let's go. You got this giveaway? What are you doing right now?
The first winner that was selected is Zoe.Thomas818. So the tough part is we pick a name, then we go through, we try to pick to make sure that they're following all those accounts. So let's start with Zoe Thomas 818. Well, Zoe Thomas 818 is a private account, so I can't check it. So let's go back to the main page and we'll just scroll through and just pick somebody.
Okay, you do that while you're figuring that all out. Lyle, what is going on next week's show? Do we have anything lined up over there? You know what he's excited for? Belly to be back.
Absolutely. I'm keeping my fingers crossed as tight as I can that Belly's schedule is going to work out and that he can do what he needs to do to be with us.
He misses you guys. He really does. He says hi to everybody in the social media lounge and watching back on your own time. All right. So Javier, are they verified or what? What's the deal over there?
Next, well, I can't because it's a private account.
Okay.
So that means they're not following you if they're a private account.
Following me, but I just can't check to see what they're following.
Oh.
So we're gonna go to the next one. Don't worry, friends and family, there will be many more giveaways. The next person who the app selected is Precious Puma. Precious Puma. We go to their following. They're following Surf the Capital. They're following Bob Stokes Shop. Yee. They're following Armadillos. They're following Shred Lights. They're following Shy Battery Systems, Stoke Blokes, Wheel Shop, Street Shred. Yeah. And so they're following all the people that they need to be following. They left a comment. They tagged 2 friends. Precious Puma, who is Parker Dennis. Nice. Okay. So if anyone knows Precious Puma, let Precious Puma know that they are the winner of the Craft and Ride Carbon Fiber Cyberpunk Fender. Bolt-on Fender. Yeah. So message me.
So dope. Congratulations.
Yeah, message me. Yes.
Absolutely.
But there will be more giveaways. I'm going to announce the next prize tomorrow. The next prize, we won't pick the winner the day after. We'll give it a few days so that people will be like, oh, yo, get excited. Maybe spread the word for someone who might not see it the first day. Because you know how crazy social media is. When you're scrolling your timeline, you'll see a post from someone today, a post from someone from 8 hours ago, then a post from someone 2 days ago. It's
and
like
the same
the
person.
algorithm is like ridiculous. So we try to give space for everyone to get involved, which is why we say share on your story. Like at the end of the day, I don't care about building numbers. Like that happens eventually anyway. But like when you share on your story, it's a way to for other riders to see you are helping me spread the stuff.
Well, listen,
I think you might have a Stoke sponge in the social media lounge. So
Really?
just got off the phone with Puma. They said you can just give me the prize.
Well played. Tell Puma message me that, and then it's all yours.
All right, we gotta go. Javier Starks, thank you. World #1. We just did an awesome job.
buddy.
Congrats,
Yeah.
bud.
Yo, thank you to all the riders who send me love every day. I try to respond to every message. I can't, respond to every message. Sometimes it's best to message the people you're asking me a question about. What do I do about my battery? Well, I'm not a battery guy. That's why you talk to Barra over at Shy Batteries. But I can try to give advice and try to give suggestions. But yeah, I love you all. I appreciate you all, Appreciate y'all. Thank you, man.
It's
Try
been
to
a
do
super
cool
fun
things for
show,
y'all.
dude. Thank you, Javier,
Be
for
ready.
joining us. And we'll get you back here again soon. Congrats on 20,000. Lyle, we got to go, man. Say goodbye to the peeps.
Oh, hey, thank you everybody for joining us today. Javier, seriously.
Hey, my bro. Thank you.
bro.
Hey, thanks for
This has
having
been
me.
awesome.
20K.
Mickey and Jan, I appreciate the love. Thank you for the support. That's a total boost of confidence. Again, just huge thanks to everybody joining us today and all the contestants who actually participated in Javier's giveaway. He's going to be doing it for a while, guys, and we're stoked about that. And we're just here to support any way we can in the community. The voice of Onewheel is not Adam and I or Javier. It's all of us. It's all you guys too. So please feel free to join us. Text message us, bounce us a message. We want to hear from you guys.
Thank you, Lyle. Very well said, sir. And to all of you out there, have a great
Nate,
day.
shout out Nate.
I got Nate Speweik. That's right. Thank you, Nate, of course, over at ForDged. With a D.
With a D.
It's been a blast. Everybody, have a good day. We'll see you on the Patrons Only podcast tomorrow. You can catch that at patreon.com/TTR Studios LLC. Belly says goodbye. Javier says goodbye. Ladies and gentlemen, we are out. Have a good day, everyone. Later.